What's going on, everybody? This is Mark from Solar Games, and today let's talk about Black Friday. So I think Halloween's going to come this weekend. So whenever Halloween happens, the next thing that almost every American looks forward to is Thanksgiving. And of course, everyone knows the day after Thanksgiving is the beginning of Christmas. This is just kind of how the holiday season works in America. Now, what does Thanksgiving bring for everybody who isn't really interested in all that family stuff? But what happens the day after, right? It's called Black Friday. So everybody knows about this large shopping holiday in America. Now, of course, Amazon has had a couple of times where they've tried to almost like create new holidays. I think this year they try to do some sort of like pre-Black Friday, Black Friday. They have Prime Day already in like the summer. So it's kind of weird. They need like 3 holidays or 4 to sell their products, but it is what it is. But this video isn't about Amazon or Black Friday necessarily. It's about what Wizards doing with Amazon and what's probably going to happen come this year. So in the past 2 years, Black Friday, we've had crazy sales for Magic. So some of the products that they have dumped on the market were Ikoria decks, Commander decks, Commander 2019 decks. They had a big sale for those as well. But those were all back then capped at 3 each, meaning each person can only buy 3 per account. So you kind of had a limit to how many you can purchase. I don't know. I have no clue what's going to happen this year. I felt like last year wasn't really anything big sale-wise. Maybe Magic was doing super well. They didn't need to dump anything. But earlier this week, or last week, earlier this month, there was a huge Amazon dump of products like Crimson Vow collectors decks, etc., or collector's edition. And that signaled to me that there's 2 things. One is, if you remember when we talked about the Hasbro Q3 earning report, they mentioned that they are sitting on a lot of product. The words they said was, we are well positioned in our inventory to meet the demands of our customers in next quarter. That's basically Wall Street speak for, we have too much fucking product and we need to go and dump that shit onto the market, right? It's a way to say, hey, we are not making good money right now, but that's only because we have inventory which we need to sell, right? So if you watch like what Nvidia said recently, it's something similar to this. Anywho, product dump in general is really, really stupid, right? I think one of the things that Wizards has not really thought about, and maybe Hasbro, on a whole, is that how this product dump short term will help with their Q4 earnings, but long term will actually probably hurt them. So I'll kind of break that up a little bit. Why? Short term, of course, it's going to help with their Q4 earnings, and right now they need a bump for Q4 because again, Q3 sucked. So at this point, anything will help. Plus Q4 is Christmas. So we all know grandparents, parents, everybody's going to be, buying Pokemon, Magic, all sorts of toys for their kids. So Hasbro is going to do very well Q4. Almost guaranteed it's not going to be a problem, right? Now, the things I'm interested in is how's Wizard going to do in Q4? And what do they mean by we have a ton of product that we need to dump? Is there a lot of product from Magic? Is there a lot of product in general? Or is this just the toys from the Hasbro, non-Wizard division? I have no clue. They weren't really clear about this. But given that they did a recent dump of Crimson Vow stuff already, this is a signal, and they were kind of testing because I think the inventory was very small because I got a notification from my friend about it, but I wasn't able to transact on it very quickly. I think by the time I got to it, all the prices were already up, so it didn't matter anymore. Yeah. What's going to happen this year? They're probably going to dump product. I don't know how many things are going to be dumped, but I suspect all the Commander decks that were made last year, because we used to have like 1 Commander deck per year, and then around Zendikar Rising, we went from 1 Commander deck series per year to basically 1 Commander set per set, right? Per standard release set. And then we started adding the Commander decks to also supplementary, like Baldur's Gate got us, the Commander Legend sets also had Commander decks assigned to them too. So it's pretty crazy. At this point, the only things that are not getting Commander decks are going to be your Master sets and Infinity and like Jumpstart. Almost every standard set are going to have Commander decks. So They know Commander is a very popular format. People are playing that a lot, so they are definitely selling to that market. Yeah, so short term, dumping all this product onto the market is definitely going to bring up revenue. It's definitely going to bring up, their just because they're dumping product at a huge discount to what you might be paying at the LGS, and definitely what LGS are paying at distributors. Wizards will still make money. They're not going to make a large sum of money, but they will still make money. The other thing that we've been talking about is the fact that Wizards can sell directly through Amazon. At this point, they can just cut everybody out. They can cut out the distributors, the LGS, and they can take all the profit margins across those directly to themselves. They've been doing this with Secret Lair, and it's working very well. Basically, they can sell something that an LGS would sell at that price, except they can do it direct, so there's no fees. So that's kind of one way to think about what that's going to do. Now, the problem with this is, again, the reason why they're able to dump is because they can just give up the margins that they were going to give to the LGS or distributors, but now they can take all that margins for themselves and or just pass it along to you. That's why the customers directly buying from Amazon can get a better price than even probably distributors from Wizards. But long term, this is a problem. So yes, revenues will go up, profit will probably go up as well, and so it's going to help their top and bottom line for Q4 for sure. And they're definitely going to do it because they need to do it now. Otherwise, their numbers are going to suck come at the end of the quarter. Now, long term, this is a problem. Why? Price memory is a huge deal. What I mean by price memory is players understand that once they see, for example, collector's editions at $90 on Amazon, they're not really going to go pay $250 from their stores at pre-sale, right? They're not really going to even pay $200 anymore. They are going to say, well, I'm going to wait until the thing is like $120, $130, $140, $150, something like that, right? Maybe they're more willing to wait until this whole market settles, because at this point, every card, set, collector, draft, every single type of product comes out and tanks. This is pretty much just the way it is now, right? So if that's happening, then why would the players go and purchase things early, right? It's pretty standard. It's been happening all through for every single set. So the only people who are probably still doing it are definitely not the people who are watching videos like this, right? Because you guys know. So yeah. And that's a big problem, because what essentially Wizards signaling to everybody, their customers, is don't pay for draft boosters. Don't pay $150 at your LGS. Don't even pay $120. Don't pay $110. Just buy it directly from me for like, I don't know, $60. This is a big problem, because if you kill the LGS, you actually kill your entire play network and distribution network. And long term, this is a problem, because those people are helping you drive popularity to the game. They are hosting events that you cannot do, and let's be honest, Wizards really has no idea how to host events properly. And this is just going to be long term. You're cutting these people out for short term gains, and long term you're going to lose the entire market, because these LGS, once they cut off Wizard, they're not really going to come back. And if they cut off Wizards and enough players kind of just disperse or go direct to Amazon, right? Now you're losing a lot of the player base. And maybe if this local store is offering like Flesh and Blood instead, or any other card game, well, guess what's going to happen? I mean, players have limited amount of funds. They're not really going to play 2 different games, 3 different games, 4 different games. Maybe they'll just swap out Magic, because guess what? Nobody's playing at the store anyways. So something to really think about. So it's really, really dumb to do this, because long-term, all these product dumps will hurt Hasbro. Again, they're very short-sighted. They're not thinking through these things. And the reality is, I mean, sure, the prices are falling and everyone's kind of pissed about that, but nobody actually hates the game or the sets that have been released. As far as I can tell, everyone likes, Dominaria United, even Infinity. I mean, you might not like the gameplay. Maybe it's a little too much, but you like the lands. You like the extra stuff that they put in the boxes. So it's fine. I mean, you have fun drafting with your friends, play some games, and then you get some of the lands. Great. Yeah, people actually like Magic. And full disclosure, I do too. I think it's great. The game is still fun. I just wish that it would cost way less to play, or the product retains value better. That's all I ask. I'm saying, look, if you want the product to be really, really cheap, just make it super cheap. Why can't booster boxes be $30? Like a board game type of thing, right? Maybe that's where we have to go. Maybe have the product retain value. So when people go play a game, they don't feel like they've just shelled out like $30 for a draft and then they walk home with like $2 in cards. Make the cards valuable, make them meaningful for the players. Or, and this is probably what, Hasbro doesn't want to listen to, but they have to now, is look around you, man. Like, all the other games are limiting print runs because across the globe, across the country, everyone's tightening wallets right now. And I know, Magic commands, the top crown. You are, you're out there like like you're a big man with a stick, right? And you know what everything's going to happen. But the reality is what? Like, you think you're better than every other game out there just because you've been here for 30 years? The age doesn't mean anything. This market will look for a leader. They will look for a leader that cares about the player, cares about building community, makes a wonderful game, and makes sure every single customer of theirs, whether it be collectors, players, whatever, are well taken care of. And this is going to be long-term a lesson that Hasbro has to learn. And if all those games are out there thinking, we got to limit print run because the market is not absorbing the supply, Wizards need to think about that too. And really think, maybe you need to limit your print runs because, again, the market is not absorbing your supply either. Right? It does really work. Yeah, meet the market demand. Don't overdo it. It's my recommendation. I know they won't listen because, it's Hasbro. And they definitely won't listen until their numbers drop. And so one of the things I fear the most is, look, Q3 sucked. They really need a Q4 that is failing to have a wake-up call. But unfortunately, Q4 is actually going to probably do very well for Hasbro. The stock's going to go up because guess what? Their bottom top lines are going to be higher. It's Christmas. So I do not think that anything is going to happen, and I don't think they're going to adjust anything. And maybe it will be middle of next year before anybody learns a lesson. And that's just how it is. And I just hope the game is not in a very, very dire life support situation by that time. All right, thank you for listening. But this is Mark from Solar Games. I'm signing out. I'll see you guys next time.